So, I just want to talk about something that is relevant. It's always relevant. It's always a relevant topic. But we just got through Valentine's Day recently at the time of recording. So it's probably a topic that's on everyone's mind. And it's about love. And I just want to comment on love in general because I came across this podcast that described love as something that came about because of survival. Like love, according to that podcast, only exists because of survival. Now, obviously, there's a degree. So, obviously, somebody's more likely to survive if other people are fond of them or love them. Like, obviously. But saying that that's the only reason love exists, I don't think rings true for our experience of love. Do you know what I'm saying? So, if that's true, that means that, whatever you guys did for Valentine's Day, if you took your lady out, if you brought your man a gift, I don't know, if you brought your lady a gift, uh, according to this podcast, they would say that you did that. They would say that you did that subconsciously because of survival. That's weird. You could deep it and be like surviving the species, whatever, but nah, that's weird. Do you know what I'm saying? You planned a dinner for your lady because you're trying to survive. I think as a man, that's kind of weird as well because you know, we're not really looking at a lady to protect us, but like also on the other end, um, I don't think a lady would say, they went on a date with their man to survive. Some people in materialistic relationships are definitely in there for the material gain, which is linked to survival. But like saying that, but that's not love though. That's like an exchange. We're talking about love. Do you know what I'm saying? We're talking about genuine care, genuine feelings. So yeah, they say that this feeling that we get in the podcast, they said the feeling of love that we get comes from survival, which is so dead, just so boring. Like you could say that's true. I think they would describe it as a evolutionary point of view, scientific point of view, but it does come across as quite dry. It doesn't ring true. So that would mean that when you show love to your grandparents, to vulnerable people who can't even help you survive because they don't have the strength. But you show them love, you show them care. According to this podcast, you're doing that for survival. Not really. When I'm helping somebody who's old and you can't help themselves, uh, I'm not really doing it for survival. Like, I think we all know. I don't really need to spend time explaining it. We all really know that love is deeper than what that podcast was suggesting. It's deeper than just survival. Um, but I think it's because they come from the evolutionary point of view, which is the belief that every single part of the body of yourself is came about because of survival, for the need to survive. Now, we can get into that. We can really get into that. Yeah, the belief that we were a single cell organism, and for the sake of survival, we developed a brain, lungs, heart, blood cells, white blood cells, nerves, uh, all this stuff apparently in order to survive. When a single cell organism can just survive by being a single cell organism. Um, so you can see why people would say this stuff. Oh, it's survival to explain why we feel it. Because sometimes you love people who may not be able to help you. You love people who might be inconvenient. Like you love a child, like it's not always convenient for you, but you love that child. Um, you may want to help your grandparents. It may not be convenient for you, but you want to do it, and you got love for them. Do you know what I mean? So, but let's even go back to romantic love, though. We all know it's deeper than surviving. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, like the vows we say when we get married. To death do us part, for better for worse, in sickness and in health. You're choosing that person no matter what, and we know it hits deeply because we know that's a symbol of genuine love. It doesn't hit deep because we know that we're more likely to survive now. Like, okay, I'm more likely to survive now. I've got a covenant with someone. It hits deep because it's a symbol of what genuine love is. What this really boils down to is what love actually is and how you and me both know what that is. So if I come up to you and say love is just a survival mechanism, that doesn't ring true because you and me. Sorry, the camera turned off. Yeah, the camera turned off. Anyway, so what I was saying is, you and me both know what love is. I don't really have to explain it. I don't have to spend time explaining it. Um, and we have that because me and you both have the same reference point for what love is. So like if I said I love someone and I treated them in a certain way, in a way that wasn't very kind, you would be able to say, Joel, you don't really love that person because love is kind. And we both know that. I don't have to explain it. And we both know that because we have the same reference point. So where am I going with this? The evolutionary point of view says that love is there to help us survive. But in reality, what we experience is like love is something, points to something. So me and you both know what love is. We know that love is kind. I don't have to explain it. Even though I didn't grow up with you, um, you know, we both know what it is. So we both have the same reference point. And the reference point is beyond us, it's beyond what culture we grew up in. So that means it's transcendent. Do you know what I'm saying? It's it's immaterial, um, that reference point. So there's an ancient book that says that God is love, which is quite interesting. Um, God is love. Huh? So me and you, we do love, we express love. In this book, it says that God is love, not that God does love or God expresses love. He is love. How does that even work? It also in this book it describes God as being a community. So like not one person, but a community of people who all share the same divine essence. So there's a son, there's a father, and then there's the spirit, like I guess the wind, and they all show love to each other. They all serve each other. They're all different people, but they've all got the same divine essence. So it helps to explain why it teaches that God is love, because since the beginning of time, these three beings have been loving each other from the beginning of time. That's what they've been doing. And in the same book, it says that we're made in the image of God. So human beings, separate to animals, are made in the image of a being that is love, made in the image of a being that is a community. So it explains why we want connection, why we want love, why we want to journey with people, do life with someone. It's because we're made in the image of somebody who is love. That is just who we are. So from that evolutionary point of view, it's like it was describing love as a coping mechanism, a coping strategy, strategy for survival. Uh, um, but in reality, we know that love is who we are. Like we love because that's who we are. That's what makes us human. That's why a lot of the deepest stories that resonate with us are about love. Interstellar. I'm not really into romance films, but you know what I mean. Interstellar. Even your superhero films, they'll have love at their core of the story. Whether it be for parents, for a child, for a loved one. Do you know what I'm saying? Love is at the core of who we are. That's because we're made in the image of a being who is love. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a far more beautiful way to see the world, and it makes more sense for what we actually experience as well, like why we love people who don't benefit us, why we know that it's honorable to endure and to keep loving someone even if it's not convenient. Why we know that love is kind, love is patient, love is selfless, and why we admire and respect all these things, because we're made in the image of God, and we're made to connect with Him and be with Him forever. So just want to explain that, especially as we passed, you know, Valentine's Day's passed. Do you know what I'm saying? Just think about all the special things you may have done with your loved one. You did that because that's who you are, right? You did that because that's what was inside and you wanted to let it out. It wasn't some survival thing. It just helps to make sense of who we are as people,